Hey everyone, I'm sharing 3 of my over 40 makeup tips today, and they're not going to be the kind of tips that you read about over and over again, like use cream-based products or stay away from powder, which are both great tips. But I think we've all heard those a million times. These are 3 little things that I have found myself doing over and over again, and I find them really helpful. Maybe you will too. Little tips, they could make a big difference. They do for me. So here we go. So tip number 1, all concealer is going to crease around your eyes. I really don't care what the company says, it's gonna crease. So I use a little setting powder to set mine. It is Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. It's somewhere on the blog. I know I've reviewed it because I've used it for years. But adding more powder when you need to freshen that up never works. It looks worse. Adding more concealer looks worse. You don't want to keep piling that stuff on. Instead, what I've been doing is I use a little brush to just kind of dust out the area. It sounds bad, but you know, it just kind of cleans everything out of the creases that it's gathered into. I haven't added any more product. I've just kind of moved it around, gotten it out of the creases, and it just seems to freshen the look. Works for me. I carry it in my purse everywhere I go. Tip number 2 is about powder. We've all read that over 40, you really should stay away from powder products, and that is true. I have heard about many women over 40 becoming more oily. I don't have that problem. Maybe I will in the future. You just never know what aging is going to throw at you. But for now, I just have a very oily T-zone. I need powder, but I don't want to dust it all over my face with a big fluffy brush. I don't want to do that. It will gather in wrinkles. It will dry out my already dry areas, and I don't want that. I want to look like I have happy, healthy, moisturized skin. So what do I do about these oily areas? Well, I have a couple powders that I really like. I like Makeup Forever HD or Ultra HD powder. I like IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. I don't use the fluffy brush. I use a very dense foundation brush, and I just get a little bit of the powder on my brush, and I just sort of push it into the areas of my face that need to look a little more matte and not so oily. It also does a great job of hiding big pores if you have big pores in that area, but this is a much better way to apply powder than just dusting it all over the place. That'll just dry your skin out, which accents wrinkles, and you don't want that, especially like in this area, for me at least, or around my mouth. I don't want a whole bunch of powder because it will just accent an already dried out area. Now, if you're oily, this won't apply to you, but if you're like me and you have combination skin, this is a really great tip. Tip number 3 is a little product specific, but I've been doing it for so long that I thought that it was worth sharing. Maybe it's something that could benefit somebody else. It's Dior's Air Flash Spray Foundation. It is foundation in a can, which sometimes scares people, but I swear to you, I've gotten so much feedback about this post on the blog and people being so happy about finding this foundation. It's worth a try. It is expensive. Sephora was making a really good dupe of it for a while. I don't know if they've discontinued it or not, but I've been tweeting at them trying to find out. I don't really get a definitive answer, but I'll keep you posted because it's a lot less expensive. But in any case, this really is worth the money, for me at least. What I really like to do with it is I wear liquid blush, cream blush most of the time, and I will apply my blush, and then I'll just take a little bit of this, spray it on here, just a couple puffs, and then I'll go over the blush area, and it just makes everything blend out really beautifully. And it also sort of makes it look like I'm actually blushing as opposed to having the blush sit on top of my other makeup. It's a little tip. It's a great refresher in the middle of the day. If your foundation starts to just sink into your skin, it sort of disappears and doesn't look as fresh. A couple puffs of this on a fluffy brush, I think this is actually called an airbrush brush. It really refreshes your whole look. I can put a little bit of it here and there and just make myself look refreshed. It's a foundation tip that I've been doing for years. I mean, since I turned 40, and now I'm 48. So I highly recommend. I hope Sephora doesn't stop making theirs. I hope it makes a comeback, and I'll let you know. So those are my 3 tips. Number 1, don't refresh the concealer around your eyes. That will crease, because it will. Don't refresh it with more powder and more concealer. Get a little brush, carry it with you, move that product around your eyes, and it goes a long way. Tip number 2, don't dust all of your powder all over your face. It just leads for a dried out look, and the powder settles in wrinkles. Use a dense brush, put it where you need it, put it on your big pores. And tip number 3, it's a really great foundation. It's worth the investment. I hope one of these works out well for you. Give them a try, and you never know. Sometimes it's little bitty changes in your routine that can make all the difference. And if any of you have a tip, share it, because I feel like, we can all get through this thing called your 40s together if we all share. Thanks for watching.